Factor follow-up segment tonight, corporate corruption. A couple of weeks ago, the Securities and Exchange Commission fined the General Electric Corporation nearly $24 million for violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Story got a little attention, but it's big, and it involves Saddam Hussein's oil for food program. So once again, GE CEO Jeffrey Immelt finds himself in a very unpleasant situation. With us now, Dr. Tom Borelli, who works for the National Center for Public Policy Research, and from Washington, Dr. Nile Gardner, a fellow at the Heritage Foundation, both the conservative groups. Okay, now, begin with you. What exactly did GE do?
Well, basically, GE violated the terms of the UN-administered Oil for Food program. This was a humanitarian program instituted back in 1996 by the UN Security Council to allow Iraq to sell oil in return for purchasing humanitarian goods, food, medical services, for example. A humanitarian program aimed at helping the Iraqi people. Unfortunately, this program was monumentally abused by the Iraqi government. Saddam Hussein himself was personally enriched through this program. Over 2,000 international companies paid kickbacks to the Iraqi regime in order to secure these humanitarian contracts. This, of course, included two subsidiaries of GE, in addition to two further subsidiaries who were subsequently bought by GE. So this whole episode, frankly, is the biggest financial scandal of modern times, the oil for food scandal. And the fact that GE, a huge American company, a household name, was involved in this scandal is hugely shameful for GE, and I think a tremendous embarrassment for the corporation.
All right. Now, Dr. Borelli, most people don't know the story. It received very little attention in the press. And as Niall pointed out, 2,000 companies were implicated in bribing Saddam and his thug generals, which is how they kept power. They had the money, they could buy the secret police and all of this business. So are we unfairly picking on GE?
No, absolutely not, because there's been a pattern of corruption at General Electric. Just last year, they settled with the Securities and Exchange Commission over charges that they were cooking the books to boost their earnings in order to meet Wall Street's expectations. So this is point number two with them. This is the second time they settled. And right now, the SEC is beginning to look at whether or not Immelt misled investors during the Wall Street meltdown, because Immelt was asking, apparently, Hank Paulson for help. At the same time, GE was reassuring investors they were having no problems getting short-term loans. So there's a pattern here that I think as Americans, whether you're shareholders or not, we all have to be concerned with.
All right. Now, Niall, when you have a company, a blue chip like GE, and you have this kind of publicity that comes out, they were able to tamp it down. I mean, GE was able to tamp this whole thing down. And as I said, most Americans don't even know what's going on over there. So it's hard for me to basically get outraged about it. Is it important in the long run? Because not all companies, but many, many American corporations do these kinds of things.
Well, I think it's a hugely important story here, because GE basically cut deals, or the subsidiaries cut deals with the Iraqi regime, which helped keep Saddam Hussein in power, one of the most brutal regimes of our times, a regime which killed hundreds of thousands of Iraqi people. And through these cutbacks, Saddam Hussein was able to create a slush fund through which he could buy weapons, for example. He had secret accounts in Geneva, Syria, Jordan. Some of this money may have been used, actually, by the insurgency. So U.S. lives could have been lost as a direct result of these kinds of deals
up a guy
cut with the Iraqi
United
regime.
States, obviously went to war with. Final question, Dr. Borelli. Jeffrey Immelt seems to be a Teflon guy. He doesn't get in trouble. I mean, he keeps his job, as you said. This is not the first time. Right. He's there. He's powerful. He keeps his job. Board of directors keep going. Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a big problem, because as we know, corporations need to be watched like elected officials, and General Electric is a special case. Their budget is the size of small small countries. But I think this is why we really have to be concerned, because corruption, alleged corruption like this, really can harm the country and all shareholders in this world of too big to fail.
Yeah, GE is very close to the Obama administration.
Oh, absolutely. They've been carrying this water for a long time. The network, they promote all of his...
yeah, NBC promotes
right.
President Obama. So he's,
right.
I think ML is as strong now as he's ever been.
Well, that's why we the people have to stand up and really demand a regime change at General Electric.
I don't think that's going to happen. Well, the stock price has been in a dumper
Right.
for it. So
and
that's
they cut the
down.
dividend, and what else do you need to know?
They're still down. All right, doctors, thanks very much. We appreciate it. We come right back.